Imagine betting against an entire country, not just any country. Britain, the Bank of England, one of the most powerful central banks on the planet. And imagine winning, making over $1 billion in one day, while that country loses billions trying to stop you. That's what George Soros did on September 16th, 1992, Black Wednesday. The day one man broke the Bank of England. How did he do it? And why couldn't Britain stop him? Here's the story. 1990. Britain makes a decision. They're joining the European Exchange Rate Mechanism, the ERM, a system that pegs European currencies to each other. The British pound is tied to the German mark. 1 mark equals 2.95 pounds, fixed, unchanging. The idea is simple. Before the euro arrives, keep European currencies stable. Nobody loses value, everyone's happy. But there's a problem. Britain's economy is weak, unemployment is high, growth is slow, inflation is out of control. Germany, meanwhile, is booming. The Berlin Wall just fell. East and West Germany are reuniting. The economy is flying. So the pound is tied to the German mark, but the two economies are in completely different places. The pound is overvalued, 10 to 15% higher than its real value. What does that mean? Britain can't export because the pound is too expensive. Business is terrible, companies are failing, people are losing jobs. But the government won't let the pound fall, because leaving the ERM would be a political disaster. It means saying we ran away from Europe. The Bank of England tries to defend the rate by buying millions of pounds every day, spending its reserves, fighting the market. But reserves are finite. The market is infinite, like trying to stop an ocean with a wall. Summer 1992. Everyone knows. The pound can't stay at this rate. It's too overvalued. Britain's economy is too weak. Everyone knows, but nobody's acting, except George Soros. George Soros is a hedge fund manager, quantum fund, managing billions of dollars, and he's very good at one thing: finding bets that governments can't defend, spotting the cracks nobody else acts on. Summer 1992. Soros's team is analysing Britain. The pound is overvalued, 10 to 15% too high. Everyone knows it. The Bank of England has reserves, around $50 billion, a lot of money, but finite. The market, however, is infinite. Hedge funds, banks, investors, trillions of dollars, they can all sell pounds. No limits, no boundaries, an unstoppable force meeting a very stoppable object. Soros does a calculation. What if he shorts £10 billion? If the pound falls, he wins. If it doesn't, he loses. But the chance of the pound falling is very high, because the economic fundamentals are broken, like a house built on sand. The Bank of England will fight him. They'll buy pounds, they'll use their reserves, but you can't stop the entire market with $50 billion. It's impossible. The math doesn't work. This is an asymmetric bet. You risk $1 billion, but you can make $10 billion. The risk-reward ratio is 1 to 10. Would you take that bet? Soros does. And he's not alone. Other hedge funds are seeing the same thing. Caxton, Tudor, Steinhardt, they all smell blood. The predators are circling. September 1992, Soros makes the decision. Time to attack. September 16th, Black Wednesday. September 16th, 1992, morning. The London markets open, and the selling wave begins. Absolute chaos from the opening bell. Soros shorts £10 billion. Other funds join in, £15 billion sold in total, in a single morning. Massive. The Bank of England responds. They're buying pounds, millions, billions, desperate to defend. They're sending a message to the market. We will defend the pound. Don't bet against us. But the market isn't listening. The selling doesn't stop, because everyone knows the central bank can't buy forever. The reserves will run out. It's just math. They're fighting a losing battle. 11 a.m., the Bank of England raises interest rates from 10% to 12%. Emergency move. The message is simple. Holding pounds is more profitable now. Don't sell. The market still isn't listening. The selling accelerates. They see desperation. Afternoon. Panic begins. The Bank of England raises interest rates again, from 12% to 15%. In a single day, 15% interest. Incredible, insane. Businesses can't get loans, mortgage payments explode. the economy will freeze. But the market still isn't listening, because it's mathematically impossible. Britain can't live with 15% interest. The peg will break. Everyone knows it. You can see the end coming. The Bank of England has now spent £27 billion, more than half its reserves. In a single day, the pound is still falling. The defence is failing, like watching a dam about to break. Evening, defeat is clear. 7 p.m. Chancellor Lamont walks to a microphone. Historic moment. Britain is exiting the European exchange rate mechanism. They're surrendering. They lost. The pound is released, and it crashes. 15% overnight. George Soros won over $1 billion in profit in a single day. Legendary trade. Britain lost over £3 billion in losses in a single day. Black Wednesday. Morning, George Soros placed a bet. Evening, he became richer, a lot richer, over $1 billion in profit in less than 24 hours. History made. The man who broke the Bank of England. He became a legend. Britain, meanwhile, was in disaster. Over £3 billion lost in a single day. Chancellor Lamont surrendered on national television. A laughingstock. He would resign later. Career over. The Conservative Party was destroyed. They said we managed the economy, but they lost to a hedge fund manager. Political crisis. National humiliation. Britain became a joke. But then something strange happened. Really strange. Something nobody expected. The economy started improving. Wait, what? The pound fell. Exports became cheaper. Companies started selling abroad again. Jobs opened up. Finally, British businesses could compete. Interest rates fell from 15% back to normal. People could breathe again. People could pay their mortgages again. Businesses could get credit. The economy could breathe. Inflation fell. Growth returned. Unemployment dropped. The ERM was strangling Britain. The pound was too overvalued. The economy couldn't breathe. It was suffocating. Soros forced Britain out of the ERM, and Britain was freed. Black Wednesday slowly became White Wednesday. The disaster turned out to be a liberation, a painful lesson with an accidental happy ending. The worst day became the best day, but nobody saw it coming. At the time, there was only shame and one question: how did one man beat an entire country? So what really killed the pound's peg? Let's investigate. Think of this as a crime scene. Evidence everywhere. All the clues were there. Pound overvalued by 10 to 15%. British economy weak. German economy strong. But currencies locked together. Bank of England spending billions daily defending the rate, but reserves melting, like watching a slow-motion car crash. Everyone could see it coming. Hedge funds spotting the weakness. George Soros and others planning attack. Asymmetric bet established limited risk, unlimited reward potential. When smart money moves this fast, you know something's about to break. The predators were circling. Britain was bleeding. Attack inevitable. September 16th, 1992, Black Wednesday. Morning. Soros shorts £10 billion. Other funds join. Bank of England defends spending £27 billion. 11 a.m. Interest rates raised 10 to 12%. Market ignores. Afternoon. Rates raised 12 to 15. Panic mode. Market still selling. Evening 7 p.m. Lamont surrenders, announces Britain exiting ERM. Pound crashes 15%. 7 p.m. September 16th, 1992. Lamont announces Britain is leaving the ERM. The pound is released. The rate collapses. Defeat complete. Britain humiliated on live television. Soros victorious. The exact moment everything ended. Time of death, 7 p.m. The aftermath? Crazy. Humiliating defeat turned into accidental liberation. Soros made over $1 billion. Britain lost over £3 billion. But here's the twist. After leaving the ERM, the economy improved. The pound found its real value. Interest rates fell. Growth returned. Black Wednesday became White Wednesday. The worst day became the best day. Nobody saw that coming. So what's the lesson here? Markets always win. Simple as that. Governments have finite reserves. Markets have infinite money. Defending an indefensible rate is an expensive game of pride. Britain learned this the hard way. Over £3 billion worth of hard. Was George Soros the villain? Or was he the enforcer of market efficiency? Honestly, both. One man beat a country, but maybe he saved that country by forcing them to face reality, by breaking the chains they couldn't break themselves. Sometimes losing is winning. Sometimes the worst day is the best day. You just don't know it yet. Black Wednesday, September 16th, 1992. The day Britain lost billions and accidentally won. The day one trader broke the Bank of England. The day pride cost £3 billion. The day defeat became liberation. And the day everyone learned, you can't fight the market. Not with 50 billion, not with 100 billion. The market has trillions and unlimited patience. Britain tried, Britain lost, but in losing, Britain won. That's the paradox of Black Wednesday. The worst financial day in British history turned out to be the best thing that could have happened. The pound was overvalued. The economy was dying. The ERM was a trap. Soros didn't destroy Britain. He freed it, against Britain's will, by force. Sometimes you need an outside force to break you free from your own mistakes. That's what happened on September 16th. George Soros made $1 billion. Britain lost £3 billion. Norman Lamont resigned in disgrace. The Conservative Party's economic credibility was destroyed. But British businesses started thriving again. Exports were competitive. Jobs came back. Growth returned. The economy breathed. So who really won? Soros got richer. Britain got humiliated. But Britain also got freed. Black became white. Defeat became victory. Loss became gain. That's the story nobody tells about Black Wednesday. The ending nobody saw coming. The twist in the tale. Financial collapse that turned into economic liberation. Crazy, right? But that's what happened. September 16th, 1992. The day one man bet against a country and won. The day a central bank spent billions defending the indefensible and lost. The day interest rates hit 15% and failed. The day Britain surrendered and survived. The day the worst became the best. Black Wednesday. The most expensive lesson in British financial history. £3 billion to learn one truth. You cannot fight the market. The market always wins. Pride always loses. And sometimes getting beaten is the best thing that can happen to you. Because it forces you to change, to adapt, to face reality. Britain didn't want to leave the ERM, but Britain needed to leave the ERM. Soros forced them and saved them. Whether he meant to or not, that's the real story of Black Wednesday. Not just about winning or losing, but about what winning and losing actually mean. Soros won the battle. Britain lost the battle. But Britain won the war by losing. That's the paradox. The lesson, the truth. Markets enforce reality, whether you like it or not, whether you're ready or not, whether it hurts or not. September 16th, 1992 was Britain's reality check, delivered by George Soros, paid for with £3 billion, received at 7 p.m. When Norman Lamont walked to that microphone and surrendered, that was the moment, the exact second Britain faced the truth. The pound was overvalued. The ERM was unsustainable. The government had been lying to itself, and the market called the bluff, with £10 billion in one day. That's the power of markets. That's the danger of pride. That's the cost of defending the indefensible. £3 billion, one day, one lesson. You cannot fight reality. You can only accept it, or get crushed trying. Britain got crushed. Then Britain got freed. That's Black Wednesday. That's White Wednesday. Same day, different perspective. Different outcome. Depends how you look at it. Immediate, disaster. Long-term, liberation. Soros, villain and hero. Britain, loser and winner. All at once. All true. That's the story. That's the lesson. Markets win. Pride loses. Reality always catches up. And sometimes the worst day is the best day. You just have to survive long enough to see it. Black Wednesday, September 16th, 1992. Remember it.